The lunch rush had not started yet, but the diner already buzzed with small sounds. Plates touched plates. A spoon clicked against a glass. The coffee machine sighed like a sleepy friend. Maya moved between the tables with a quiet rhythm, checking napkins, refilling water, and giving a friendly nod to anyone who looked up. She wore a simple name tag and neat braids tied back so they would not fall in her face. She liked order. She liked seeing a table go from messy to clean in a few quick moves. It made the day feel possible. Outside, the city felt hot and bright. Car horns rose and fell in a busy song. The diner stood on a corner with big windows that caught the light. A chalkboard near the door showed the specials in large letters. It said Monday lunch, tomato soup, grilled chicken plate, and 3 kinds of pie. In the back, the kitchen team spoke in short, quick phrases. Oil warmed. Pans clattered. The manager, Luis, kept checking the printer for new orders and tapping his pen on a clipboard. A woman stepped in, quiet as a breeze. She wore a simple gray jacket, comfortable shoes, and a small watch. Her hair was neat, and her eyes moved like a person who is used to measuring time. She looked around, then chose a table near the window. She placed her phone face down, took a notebook from her bag, and set it beside a pen. Her name was Aiko. She had flown in late the night before. The morning had already been long. She had visited a small warehouse, a shared office, and one hotel lobby. Her driver waited outside with a bottle of water and a map on his phone. She had 25 minutes before the next meeting. Maya walked over with a smile that felt natural, not forced. "Good afternoon," she said. "Welcome in." Aiko nodded and returned the smile. "Water?" Maya asked. Aiko nodded again. "Yes, water please," she said, careful with each word. Her voice was soft, and she paused a little between phrases to be sure she said them right. English was not her first language. She knew many business words and many travel words, but sometimes small, everyday words could feel slippery. She did not like to be rude by mistake, so she spoke slowly. Maya set down a glass and a menu. She pointed to the chalkboard near the door. "We also have today's specials," she said, slow and clear, not loud, not slow in a way that would feel wrong, just calm. "Take your time." Aiko mouthed thank you and opened the menu. She scanned the pages like someone reading a map. Soup, salads, sandwiches, a few plates simple food. She looked for something safe and fast. She knew her own rules: no sesame, no peanut oil, no shared fryer with sesame oil, and no surprise sauces. She had learned to ask exact questions. Big events and serious meetings were easy for her. A lunch menu could be hard. Maya moved away to check on another table, but she kept one eye on the woman by the window. There was something poised about her, calm, but careful. Maya recognized that look from students who came in before exams and from nurses who stopped by between shifts. People who needed the small things to go right so the big things could keep moving. At the counter, the printer spit out a ticket, and Luis scanned it, called an order, and looked around the floor. "We'll be tied for the next hour," he murmured. 2 servers called out. Aiko took a breath and stood up halfway, catching Maya's eye with a small wave. Maya came quickly, pen ready. Aiko held the menu with both hands and pointed gently at a line. "This," she said, then paused, searching for words. "Oil, please, which oil?" She drew a small circle in the air like she was turning a dial. Maya leaned closer. "For the fryer?" she asked. "Yes," Aiko said, relief clear in her face. "For the fryer." Maya knew the kitchen used a blend for most fried items and a separate small pan for special requests. She also knew the manager did not love special requests during busy times, but she did not assume. "I'll ask," she said. "Do you have any allergies?" She used the word allergies on purpose because it mattered. Aiko nodded and searched her bag. She pulled out a small card with neat letters printed in 2 languages. The first lines were in Japanese. Under that, in English, it read, "Severe sesame allergy. Please no sesame oil, no sauce with sesame, no shared fryer used with sesame oil." The card was clean and sturdy, like a business card. Maya's face softened. "Thank you for showing me this," she said. "I'll double-check everything." Aiko nodded again and looked both grateful and a little tense, as if she had to hold the conversation in 2 hands and not drop it. Maya went to the kitchen window where orders were handed over. "Hey," she said, keeping her tone light but steady. "Question on fryer oil and a sesame allergy. Can we do a clean pan if needed?" The line cook, Cam, glanced at the clock. "We can," he said, "but I'd like to know what she's ordering." Maya held the menu and pointed to a grilled chicken plate with a side. "No problem," Cam said. "That's not fried." "Sauce." Maya thought quickly. "Let's do it plain, salt and pepper only. Side of rice and steamed green beans. No sauce. Fresh pan for the beans." Luis leaned over the counter. "We getting a lot of special orders today?" he asked. He did not sound annoyed, just busy. Maya held up the allergy card. "Severe sesame," she said. "We'll keep it simple." Luis nodded. "Okay. Put it in clear on the ticket." He tapped his pen, then gave a quick, kind glance toward the window. "Make sure she's good." Back at the table, Maya relayed the plan in easy words. "We can do grilled chicken. No sauce. Rice and green beans. No sesame oil anywhere. Is that okay?" She pointed to each item as she named it, letting the menu help. Aiko listened and repeated key words. "Grilled chicken, rice, green beans, no sesame," she echoed, almost like she was making a promise with the menu. "Yes. Thank you. Would you like tea?" Maya asked. "We have green tea, black tea, and mint tea." "Green tea," Aiko said, smiling a little more now. "No sugar." They shared a small laugh at that. Sometimes the simplest detail is the most important. Maya printed the ticket with clear notes and added a bright underline under "Severe sesame allergy, no sesame oil, fresh pan." She clipped it to the line. The kitchen moved like a short dance. A pan heated. The chicken went on with a soft hiss. Rice steamed in a small pot. Green beans tumbled in a clean pan with a little water and a pinch of salt. Time pressed, but nobody rushed the steps. It was steady work. At the table, Aiko opened her notebook for a moment, then closed it again. She watched the room around her. A couple near the door talked about a new apartment. 2 workers in orange vests shared a joke she could not catch, but their laughter made her smile. A child tapped a straw on a glass and then stopped when his mother gave him a look. A TV near the counter showed a loop of local news, but the sound was off. This kind of space, public and private both, always rested her mind. She liked the small kindnesses you could see if you paid attention. Her phone buzzed. A message from her driver said, "I am parked on 3rd Street. Meeting at 1:30 p.m. The building changed the entrance this morning." She typed back, "Thank you. I will be ready in 20 minutes. She tucked the phone away and took a sip of water. She thought of the rest of the day, a quick tour, a call with a team overseas, a side check at a small workshop that made smart sensors, and then a quiet dinner alone to read notes. She did not need many things, but she needed meals to be safe and on time. Maya returned with the tea. Steam curled up from the cup. "Careful, hot," she said with a small grin. Aiko lifted the cup with both hands and nodded. "Smells good," she said. Her English felt smoother now that she knew she had been understood. She felt her shoulders drop from near her ears. She let herself breathe. Maya topped up the water glass and gave a quick glance toward the kitchen to make sure the rhythm was still good. As the food came close to ready, a new wave of people pushed through the door. The room grew louder. The printer spit tickets fast. Luis moved to the host stand to help seat groups and keep the line steady. Maya slid between tables, taking 2 orders by memory and 1 on her pad. She liked this part, the clear steps, the flow, the way a good plan could hold everyone up. She kept one thought on the window table. When a runner almost lifted a plate there by mistake, a crispy chicken sandwich with a shiny glaze, Maya touched his elbow lightly and pointed him to the right table. "Window gets grilled," she said. "No sauce." The runner nodded and changed course. It was a small move, nothing dramatic, just a hand placed in the right spot at the right time. Cam set a plate in the window with a small nod. The grilled chicken looked tender, the rice neat, the beans bright. Maya checked the ticket, checked the plate, and carried it out. She placed the dish softly in front of Aiko and said, "Chicken, rice, green beans. All without sesame. Enjoy." Aiko looked at the plate like it was more than food. It was safety, respect, time saved, all on white ceramic. "Thank you," she said again, warm and calm. She took a small bite and then another. The food tasted simple and clean. It did not need to be fancy to be exactly right. She ate slowly but not too slowly. She kept her phone in her bag and her eyes on the plate and the window. She liked to finish a meal with the same focus she brought to the start of a meeting. Around her, the diner's noise rose and fell like a gentle sea. It was busy now, but she did not feel pushed. The pace was honest. The air smelled like coffee and toast and a little citrus from someone's drink. At the counter, Luis noticed the calm at the window table, and it eased his mind. He used to think that some customers just liked to make things hard. Years in restaurants taught him that most people only wanted to be heard and safe. Allergies were not a preference. A clear question now could prevent a hard problem later. He made a small note to talk to the team about a better way to mark allergy orders on the board. Maya checked in one more time. "How is everything?" she asked. Aiko lifted a thumb. "Very good," she said. "Perfect." She chose that word with care. She did not say it often, but this moment deserved it. Maya smiled and moved on to refill water for a couple by the door. She thought of her evening class schedule and the price of textbooks and the bus she needed to catch later. A day like this could be tiring, but it also felt useful. She liked being the person who made a small part of someone's day go right. Aiko finished, folded her napkin, and took out her wallet. She placed the card from her bag next to a credit card so she would not forget it. She kept that card with her always. It had saved her more than once. She looked out the window at the street, where her driver sat under a tree with the car music low. She could almost feel the road's heat in the air. She checked the time again. She was on schedule. She felt a soft, simple joy at that. Maya brought the check in a small black folder and set it down with a gentle, "Whenever you're ready." Aiko nodded and placed the card inside. She added a neat tip and slid the folder back. When Maya returned, Aiko lifted a hand in a small bow, the one she used when she wanted to say thank you with a bit extra care. Maya returned the nod with her own small bow, a gesture she had learned in a language class and kept as a quiet sign of respect. As Aiko stood to leave, their eyes met. They did not share many words, but they shared understanding. It was enough. Aiko picked up her bag, placed the allergy card back inside, and walked toward the door. The bell made a soft sound as it opened and closed. The city's heat fell around her, but she felt cool and steady inside. Back at the table, the plate sat empty, grain of rice by grain of rice. Maya wiped it down and set the table for the next guest. She saw the imprint of a calm lunch in the clean circle where the plate had been. It was a small thing, but small things added up. In a place built on quick steps and short talks, two people had found the right words and the right care. The day moved on, but something in the room felt better than before, like a note resolved in a song. 2 days later, the city felt just as bright and busy. The diner windows shone like clean mirrors, and the chalkboard had new specials. It said Wednesday lunch, lemon chicken, veggie stir-fry, and peach pie. The clock over the counter read 1:02 p.m., right in the middle of the rush. Voices layered over the soft hiss of the grill. The printer clicked. A bell chimed every few minutes when a plate was ready. Maya tied her apron and stepped onto the floor. She had taken a morning quiz at school and then hurried to work. She liked this rhythm. It kept her focused. Louise stood near the host stand, moving like a traffic officer, seating people, adding notes, and keeping the line moving. Cam worked the grill. A new runner named Evan carried plates with careful hands and wide eyes, still learning the map of the room. Outside, a black sedan pulled up to the curb. Aiko stepped out with a neat umbrella. The sky was clear, but the sun was strong. She closed the umbrella at the door and slipped inside. Today she wore a pale blue blouse and the same small watch. Her bag held the same tools: phone, notebook, allergy card, pen. She had a meeting at 1:30 p.m. in a building only 2 blocks away. She had 25 minutes for food and tea, and she wanted to eat here again because the last lunch had been calm and safe. She liked places where the rules were known. The room was more crowded than before. Every table had people and plans. A group in business suits talked about a demo. 2 tourists pointed at pies in the display case and took photos. A grandmother fed a baby tiny spoonfuls of mashed sweet potato. It was a warm scene, but also fast. The air moved with quick steps and short words. Maya was serving the back section, so she did not see Aiko at first. Tina, the other server, caught Aiko's eye and smiled. Tina was kind and quick, with curly hair pulled into a clip and a small notepad tucked behind her ear. "Hi there," she said. "Table for 1. Aiko nodded. "Yes, 1, she said. Tina led her to a corner table that caught a soft stripe of light and set down a menu and water. "I'll be back in a minute," Tina said, and hurried to drop off checks at 2 other tables. Aiko lifted the menu and scanned it. She saw the lemon chicken and the veggie stir-fry, she thought, and then stopped. Stir-fry could mean many oils. She placed her phone on the table and opened her translation app, not to speak through it, but to use keywords if needed. Her driver texted, "Meeting room changed to 2nd floor. I will wait at the side door." She replied, "Thank you." 20 minutes. Tina came back with a pen, already thinking about her next table. "What can I get you?" she asked, friendly but fast. Aiko pointed to the veggie stir-fry. "This," she said, and then carefully added, "Oil, which oil?" "No sesame. Please, no sesame." She held up her allergy card. Tina leaned in, read the card with a quick glance, and nodded. "No sesame. Got it?" She wrote "no sesame" on the pad and a big circle around it. She meant well, but she did not ask about shared pans or sauces. The stir-fry sauce had a small spoon of sesame oil mixed in a big batch. It was not obvious on the recipe list, but Cam knew it. Tina, in the rush, did not remember that small line. At the window, Tina clipped the ticket. "Veg stir-fry, no sesame," she said. Cam squinted at the note. "Sauce?" he asked. "No sesame," Tina repeated, already turning to reach a water pitcher. Cam thought, maybe she means no visible seeds, and decided to plate the stir-fry without the sprinkle of toasted seeds, the garnish they sometimes used. He cooked fast, the pan snapping in the heat, the vegetables glossy and bright. He added the house sauce. It had soy, ginger, a whisper of sesame oil for depth. It was a habit made by many days of work. At the same time, Maya finished dropping off checks and finally saw the window table. She recognized Aiko at once by the calm posture and the little notebook. A small smile lifted Maya's face. She moved toward the table, but a family at the corner raised hands, and she paused to help them. "I'll be right there," she said to herself, glancing back toward Aiko. A runner set a plate near the pass for Evan to carry. It was the lemon chicken, glazed and shiny, sprinkled with sesame seeds. The seeds were only on top, but still, sesame was sesame. The ticket said lemon chicken, not Aiko's order. It belonged to the businessman near the door. Evan lifted the lemon chicken with one hand and the veggie stir-fry with the other and stepped onto the floor. Aiko checked the time again, 1:10 p.m. She took a sip of water, then pulled the allergy card closer. She felt fine. But she also felt the small stress that comes when many small bits must be in the right order. The door opened, and a young couple came in. Someone laughed at the counter. The TV showed a news clip of a tech conference from last week, a photo of a stage and a banner. Aiko did not look up. Evan reached Aiko's table first. He set down the veggie stir-fry with a smile. "Here we go," he said, and turned to walk away. Aiko looked at the glossy vegetables, then looked again. The sauce shone in a way that made her pause. It was not wrong by sight. It was only a feeling. She lifted the allergy card and said gently, "No sesame? Please, no sesame. Oil." She pointed at the plate, then at the card. Evan froze for a breath, held between the plate he had set down and the other one in his hand. He was new. He did not know the details of the sauces. "One moment," he said, nervous. He glanced around for Tina. At the counter, Tina was pouring iced tea, and 3 more tickets printed. Louise stepped in to seat a table of 4. Cam slid another plate to the pass. The room moved like a puzzle that clicked when each piece fit. But one piece here did not fit yet. A man at the next table, a regular who liked to comment on everything, looked over. He saw Aiko holding a card with non-English writing and a phone with a translation app open. He heard the words "no sesame" and guessed there was a problem. He lifted his own phone and opened the camera, maybe out of habit, maybe out of curiosity. He pointed it without much thought. He did not mean harm, but it made the moment feel sharper. Aiko felt the small red light of attention. She did not want a scene. She looked at her phone and tapped the word for allergy in Japanese, then pressed the translate button. The app spoke in a flat voice, "Allergy. Sesame is dangerous. Please no sesame oil." The words were correct, but the tone was machine-like. In the busy room, it sounded like an alarm when she only wanted a careful note. Louise, hearing the app voice, looked up and hurried over, thinking a complaint was forming. "Is something wrong?" he asked, a little too fast. His mind was already on 4 other things. Aiko tried to answer in English, but the words came out slow. "No sesame oil. Please," she said, pointing at the plate and then at the card. She bowed her head just a little, hoping the shape of the gesture carried care. Louise saw the bow and the card and, for a moment, misread the whole picture. He thought she was rejecting the food without trying it. He thought maybe this was a taste preference presented as a rule. He said, "We can make something else, or you can choose another place if it's not working today." He did not raise his voice, but the words felt like a door half closing. Aiko blinked. Her cheeks warmed. She wanted to explain more clearly, but time pressed like a thumb on her shoulder. She looked for the right simple words. "Allergy. Strong," she said, tapping the card where it said severe sesame allergy in English. She held the card out, but it shook a little in her hand because she hated this feeling, the feeling of being seen first as a problem, not a person. At that exact second, Maya finished with the family in the corner and turned. She heard the app's flat voice say dangerous in the distance. She saw the way Aiko's shoulders had lifted again, not in anger, just in worry. She also saw the lemon chicken in Evan's other hand, seeds bright like tiny lights, a few inches from the wrong table. Maya's body knew what to do before her brain did. She took 3 quick steps, touched Evan's elbow with a soft "I've got you." Maya's hand moved first. She slid the lemon chicken toward the businessman's table, then turned back to the veggie stir-fry at Aiko's place. The sauce looked glossy and smelled faintly nutty. That tiny smell was enough. She lifted the plate gently. "One moment, please," she said to Aiko, voice soft, steady. She did not want fear to spread. She wanted calm facts. Evan's eyes went wide. "Did I mess up?" he whispered. Maya shook her head. "You're fine. We're catching it in time." She tucked the plate onto her tray and turned to the pass. "Hold this," she told Evangelist. "Don't serve anything with seeds near the window table." She touched the lemon chicken again to be sure it would not drift back toward Aiko by mistake. Small touch, big difference. Luis reached them in 2 steps. "What's up?" he asked, scanning the room, always counting minutes, chairs, and tickets in his head. Maya lifted the allergy card. "Severe sesame," she said, pointing to the English lines. "The stir-fry sauce has sesame oil. We can't serve it." She kept her tone plain. "No blame. Just the rule." Luis pressed his lips together and nodded. "Got it?" He turned and called to the kitchen, "Allergy on the board, priority, please." At the line, Cam heard the word allergy and glanced at the wok. "House sauce has a dash," he said, already shutting the burner and pushing the pan aside. "We need a new pan and new tongs." He wiped his hands and reached for the small skillet used for omelets at breakfast. It was clean and resting cold on a high shelf. "I'll use this," he said. "What's the new plan?" Maya looked at Aiko. The room behind them kept moving, forks, voices, the printer's fast click. The man at the next table lowered his phone, suddenly aware that this was not a show. "I'm so sorry," Maya said to Aiko in simple words. "Sauce has sesame oil. We will make a safe dish now." Aiko's face changed from tight to understanding. She nodded, and her shoulders eased a little. "Thank you," she said. Then she held up 2 fingers, not to ask for more, but to ask, with her hand, "How long?" Maya lifted her palm like a tiny stop sign. "Fast," she said. She took out her small notepad and drew 3 short lines, writing big, clear words, "New pan. No sesame oil. Plain sauce." She turned the notepad so Aiko could see it, then wrote the same in blocky, careful letters, "No sesame oil." Aiko's eyes smiled. She said, "Déjà vu," which meant it's okay. She was telling Maya that the plan made sense. Tina hurried over, cheeks pink. "I'm sorry," she said to Maya first, then to Aiko. "I should have asked about the sauce." It was not a long speech. It was the right size. Aiko nodded kindly. "Thank you," she said, and her tone held no blame. She knew busy rooms make small gaps, and careful people close them. Maya slid to the pass. "Here's the safe route," she told Cam. "Steam the vegetables with water only in the omelet pan. Plain soy and ginger on the side in a clean ramekin. Wait, check the soy label." Cam pulled a bottle from the shelf and turned it. "No sesame," he read. "We're good." Maya added, "Grilled chicken or tofu." She looked at Aiko and mimed a little grill with her hand. Aiko pointed to chicken. "Simple choice." Maya nodded. "Separate tongs. Fresh gloves," she said. Cam was already ahead of her. He swapped gloves and set the clean skillet to heat with a spoon of canola oil from a sealed bottle. "New pan, new oil," he called so the line heard him. Luis spoke to the room with a calm face. Allergy order, coming through, he told Evan and the other runner. Give it the lane. That single sentence did two things at once. It kept the staff focused, and it told the guests that the team cared about safety more than speed. People like seeing that, even if it meant their plate took one more minute. The man with the phone cleared his throat. Sorry, he said to no one in particular, and put the device away. The air near Aiko's table softened. Tina poured water for the businessmen and quietly said, "No sesame at the window, so please keep that plate on your table." They nodded, a little surprised, a little impressed. One of them said, "Of course," and covered his dish with a napkin while he spoke, as if to shield the seeds from traveling. Aiko checked her watch. It was 1:17 p.m. Her driver texted, "Side door has a small line. Allow 5 minutes to clear security." That meant she had 8 good minutes to eat. She took a slow breath, not to make time stretch, but to make each second feel less sharp. She set her phone face down again. She preferred to watch the platform in the room rather than in an app. Maya leaned close enough to be heard without being loud. "We will make a safe bowl," she said. "Rice, vegetables, grilled chicken. No sauce on the plate. Small sauce on the side if you want it. You can eat in 6 to 7 minutes." She held up 6 fingers, then 7, as if the numbers were small tools she could hand over. Aiko nodded again. "Good," she said. "Thank you." She added a tiny bow, not deep, just a gentle bend that held respect like water in a cup. In the kitchen, the skillet hissed. Cam tossed a handful of green beans and bell peppers into the pan with a little water. Steam puffed up. He stirred with a wooden spoon, not the metal one he used for other dishes, because wood held fewer memories of sauces. He marked the spoon with a piece of blue tape so it would go back to the allergy-only bin later. He was fast, but not rushed. He moved like a person who knew the cost of a shortcut. Tina stood beside Maya for a second. "Thank you for catching that," she said, voice low. "I should have remembered the house sauce." Maya touched Tina's sleeve, kind and brief. "We all miss a line sometimes," she said. "We fix it. We learn it." Tina nodded. Relief and focus returned to her face. She walked off to refill a coffee and check on a table near the window with a stroller. The team was whole again. Luis set 2 small laminated cards on the counter, new, still shiny. "Translation cards," he said to Maya with a quick half smile. "Printed this morning." He slid one to Maya. It had short phrases, "Do you have any allergies?" with lines in Spanish, Japanese, and French under the English. It also had, "We can make this without sesame/peanuts/dairy." Maya's eyes warmed. She tucked the card into her apron pocket. "Good timing," she said. Evan hovered, wanting to help and not get in the way. "What can I do?" he asked. Maya handed him a small tray with a fresh napkin, chopsticks still in their paper sleeve, and a spoon. "Bring these to the window table when the plate is ready," she said. "Say, safe dish coming." "Thank you for waiting." Evan practiced the line with his mouth, then smiled. "Got it?" The TV over the counter flashed an image. It was a photo of Aiko on a stage from a news clip about a tech summit. The sound was off, but the caption said her last name. No one pointed it out. The staff kept their eyes on the food and the guests in front of them. Fame is a loud word. Care is a quiet one. Today, the quiet word mattered more. Cam lifted the chicken from the grill to rest. He checked the juices, clean and clear. He spooned the steamed vegetables into a white bowl and added a half cup of rice shaped like a small hill. He sliced the chicken and placed it beside the rice, not on top, so nothing would drip into a place it shouldn't. He wiped the rim. He did not add parsley or seeds or shine. He kept it honest. He set the plate in the pass and called, "Allergy safe bowl." Maya did not grab it at once. She read the ticket, read the plate, and did the little check she always did: eyes, nose, mind. It was a habit she trusted. She looked at Cam. "New pan?" she asked. He tipped the skillet to show the clean surface. "New tongs," he added, holding them up. "Fresh gloves," he said, wiggling his fingers. They smiled because this was the right kind of checklist. Louis stepped back to let the moment move. He had learned that leadership was not only making big calls. It was also making space at the right times. "Go," he told Maya, and she did. Evan followed with the tray of small items. He set the spoon down. "Safe dish coming," he said to Aiko. "Thank you for waiting." He said it exactly as he had practiced, simple and clean. Aiko's mouth lifted into a small, true smile. It was not a big moment to anyone else, but to him it felt like crossing a tiny bridge. He had said the right words in the right order. Before Maya placed the plate, she leaned in and said a few gentle words in Japanese, the ones she remembered clearly: "Goma obera, dame. Atara shii pan. Deja vu. No sesame oil. New pan. It's okay." Her accent was not perfect, but her care was. Aiko's eyes softened with relief. She nodded. "Arigato," she said, and the syllables held a thank you that meant more than thanks. Maya set the bowl down and kept the soy ginger in a tiny cup on a separate saucer. "Only if you want," she said, touching the saucer's edge to show it was a choice, not a surprise. Aiko glanced at her watch. 1:21 p.m. She had 9 minutes. Enough. She lifted the chopsticks and ate a bite of rice, then a piece of chicken, then a green bean. The food was plain in the best way. It tasted like care. While Aiko ate, Maya stood at a half-step distance, not hovering, just available. She answered a question about pie for another table, dropped off a check, and refilled 2 waters. She was a moving circle of calm. Luis watched for a second and made a silent note to put her on training shifts for new staff. Some people kept rooms together without making noise about it. He wanted that skill to spread. Tina returned to Aiko's table once, not to talk about the past, but to offer a warm, "How is everything now?" Aiko gave a small thumbs up and said, "Perfect." The word sat between them like a small light. Tina breathed easier. "I'm glad," she said, and moved on with better eyes for her next tickets. The room adjusted around the allergy plan as if it had been built that way from the start. The businessmen ate their lemon chicken and kept their napkin shield on the plate when they weren't taking a bite, a detail that would make Maya laugh later when she remembered it. The grandmother bounced the baby, who watched the steam from Aiko's bowl with round eyes, then clapped once, happy for no clear reason at all. The man who had lifted his phone earlier now used it to pay his bill, and he slid a quiet extra tip under the check for the table near him as if to make up for his first choice. Small, private correction. Aiko ate with calm, even bites. She did not rush, but she did not pause. She watched the door once and the clock once. She looked at Maya and gave a nod the way a teacher might nod to a student who has found the right line in a book. It meant, yes. This is it. When she had eaten enough to be steady for the afternoon, she set the chopsticks down, drank a sip of water, and dabbed the corner of her mouth with the napkin. She looked around the room. She saw how the small plan had passed through many hands: the cook who changed pans, the manager who made space, the new runner who spoke a clear sentence, the server who said sorry without drama, and the server who bridged the language with a few careful words. She felt a quiet respect for each part. Her driver texted, "I'm at the side door now." She typed back, 2 minutes. She placed her card in the check folder when Maya brought it. Maya had already comped the tea without saying anything. It was a simple thank you from the house for patience. Aiko noticed, and a warmer smile touched her eyes. She took her allergy card from the table and held it up as if to say, "This card and your care are partners now." Maya returned the small bow Aiko made. It was not fancy. It was not part of a show. It was two people marking a moment that went right after almost going wrong. That kind of moment is easy to miss. Today, they did not miss it. As Aiko stood to leave, the path to the door opened naturally, like water parting around a smooth stone. No one announced anything. No one asked for a photo. She did not want that. What she took with her mattered more, the memory of a place where her safety had been seen and protected in real time. Maya watched the door close and felt the room settle. Part of her mind moved on to the next table and the next order. Another small part stored what had happened, step by step, like a recipe card. Ask exact questions, name the allergy, use a new pen, show the plan on paper, speak 1 or 2 words in the guest's language if you can. It was not magic. It was method and care. Luis caught her eye and gave a small nod that meant both good job and thank you. He went to the printer and taped a new note above it, allergy equals ask, oil, sauce, pen, tools. The letters were big. The message was simple. He wanted the habit to live longer than this lunch rush. Outside, the sun was bright, and the sedan door opened. Aiko stepped in, steady and on time. Inside the diner, the bell chimed again as new guests arrived, unaware of the small rescue that had just taken place. That was fine. The best rescues in a busy day are the ones that leave only calm behind. Maya tied her apron tighter, picked up her notepad, and moved to the next table, ready for the next small, important thing. The late lunch rush thinned, but the diner did not go quiet. It shifted into that steady afternoon rhythm that feels like a long breath. No lines at the door, but always a table to check, a cup to refill, a ticket to read. Luis wiped the host's stand and looked at the clock. He could feel the edge of stress leaving his shoulders, but not all the way. He kept thinking about the stir-fry, the sauce, and the look on Aiko's face when she held up the allergy card. It had not become a scene because Maya acted fast. Still, he did not want almost moments to live in his dining room. Maya rolled a stack of silverware in napkins, hands quick and sure. She had energy left, but she also had a thought that would not leave. She glanced at the kitchen, at Cam washing the omelette pan with extra care, at Tina checking labels on bottles, at Evan reviewing his table map like it was a study guide. The small team had good hearts. They needed a short, strong plan they could use even on the busiest days. 2-minute huddle. Maya asked Luis. She did not ask for a long meeting. She knew the clock like everyone else. Luis nodded at once. "Let's do it," he said. He tapped the bell twice in a friendly way and called, "Team, quick meet at the pass." They formed a small half-circle by the counter, Cam with a clean towel on his shoulder, Tina with a notepad, Evan with eyes open wide, and Luis with his pen. No one leaned back. No one sighed. The air felt like a space where something useful could happen. Maya spoke in simple words, the way she liked to serve and to learn. "Allergy comes first," she said. "We ask the same 3 questions every time. Number 1, oil what kind? Number 2, sauce what is inside? Number 3, tools new pan, new tongs, new gloves." As she named each step, she lifted a finger. The list sat in the air like 3 hooks you could hang a habit on. Cam nodded, already filling in his part. "We also mark a safe spoon," he said, holding up the wooden one with blue tape. "And we keep the omelette pan for allergies only, in a high spot." Tina wrote the 3 questions in big letters on her pad. "I'll make a copy and tape it by the drink station," she said. "So even if we forget in a rush, the wall remembers for us." Luis pulled out the small laminated translation card he had printed in the morning. "We'll add 2 lines," he said, turning his pen to the back. Line 1, is sesame or peanut oil okay? Translated under the English. Line 2, we can cook with new tools if you like. He looked at Maya. Can you help with the Japanese words? Maya took a breath and wrote slowly, checking each character in her memory. She did not try to be fancy. She just wanted a guest to feel seen. She wrote the sentence for we can use a new pen and tools and read it out loud softly. Cam and Tina listened with that respectful quiet a room makes when it learns a new sound. Luis wrote it neatly under the English, then took a clear photo with his phone to print later. Good, he said. This lives by the host stand and the kitchen. Evan raised a hand, a little shy. What if I'm not sure about a sauce? He asked. It was a simple question, and it mattered. Say, let me double check, Maya said, handing him words the way you hand someone a safe tool. Then bring the bottle to Cam or me. And keep the plate off the table until we know. Luis added, and if a guest feels worried, we stand with them and say the plan out loud. No big speeches. Just the steps. It slows the room down in a good way. The bell over the door chimed. A small tour group walked in, 3 adults and a teenager with a camera. They spoke a mix of English and another language, maybe French. Luis seated them and handed menus. As he walked back, he said to Maya, let's test the script right now. Tina took the table. She opened with a smile and the new first question. Do you have any allergies? The words came out smoother than in her head. One woman lifted a hand. Peanuts, she said. Tina nodded and went gently through the same 3 checks Maya had just named: oil, sauce, tools. She did not rush. She showed the laminated card to point at the right words. The woman's shoulders fell into a more relaxed shape. Merci, she said. Thank you. Tina's face brightened. She felt the script holding her up like a rail on stairs. At the pass, Cam called for the clean pen again and used fresh gloves. Evan set out a spoon and a small plate, ready to say his line, safe dish coming. Thank you for waiting. When he spoke it at the table, the teenager with the camera gave him a friendly thumbs up. The table ate without worry. The room held together. While they worked, a quiet envelope arrived at the host stand. A driver in a black cap delivered it, left a small bow in the air, and slipped out. Luis looked at the simple white paper. No logo. Just a neat block of letters, for the team. He brought it to the pass and called Maya and Tina over. Inside was a paper folded in half and a card. The paper had 2 short lines in clean handwriting, first in Japanese, then in English under it: thank you for care in a busy room. Communication is a bridge. Below, there was a small signature, A. Tanaka. The card beside it was a business card, white with plain black letters. It listed Aiko's name and the title, Managing Partner, and a small line, Growth, Hospitality, and Logistics. There was nothing loud on the card. It felt like the person who had carried it calm and exact. Tina pressed a hand to her chest, touched. She took time to write this in the middle of her day, she said. Luis nodded and tucked the note into the corner of the menu board with a small magnet shaped like a coffee cup. We'll keep it up for a week, he said. Maybe longer. Maya held the card between 2 fingers and smiled in that quiet way she had when something felt right. She did not point at the words managing partner or the idea of billionaire that floated around Aiko's photo on TV earlier. She did not need those names to change her plan. Her plan was the same no matter who sat at the table: ask, verify, cook safe, speak simply, show respect. The afternoon rolled on. A delivery driver brought boxes of tea and napkins. The sink hummed. A child drew a sun on a napkin with a crayon and gave it to Evan, who thanked him like it was museum art. A young couple asked about peach pie and split a slice. None of these moments were big. All of them stacked into a day that felt good. Around 3, a pair of hotel staff walked in for a late break. They wore neat black vests and name tags. They scanned the room with eyes that knew service maps. They sat at the counter, ordered soup, and listened with half an ear the way people in the same craft always do. They saw the new allergy equals oil, sauce, tools note taped by the printer. One of them pointed and whispered, impressed by how simple and strong it looked. Maya topped up their water and answered a small question about the soup. One of the staff said, "We might borrow that sign idea." Maya smiled. "Please do," she said. "It works even when you're tired." At 3:15 p.m., the TV showed a short loop again from the Tech Summit. A clear photo of Aiko standing at a podium appeared, then moved away. A tourist seated at the front looked from the TV to the note on the board and then to Maya. "Is that the same person?" she asked, curious, not pushy. Maya looked, then nodded once. "Yes," she said. "She's kind." That was all. The tourist smiled back, satisfied with that answer. The team felt the shift in the room. It was not the kind of shift that comes from a famous name. It came from the way a problem had been turned into a plan, and the plan into a habit, and the habit into calm. The people eating here did not know all the steps. They only felt the result. The room had fewer sharp edges. Luis gathered the team again near 4, when the room was at its slowest. "One more minute," he said. "Maya, can you show us the words you used at the table?" He meant the gentle Japanese sentence. "We will not always have the same words," he added. "But we can learn to say a few right ones." Maya nodded and wrote the small sentence again on a sticky note, "New pen, new tools." "It's okay." She said it out loud in Japanese, slow and clear. Tina tried it, copying the rhythm. Cam tried too, laughing softly at his own accent, then tried again, better. Evan did it last, focused. He looked happy when he managed the sounds. "I'm not perfect," he said, "but I think I can say it kindly." "Kind is the point," Maya said. "Perfect belongs to plates and tickets. Kind belongs to people." Luis taped the sticky note beside the translation card. "We'll add more phrases over time," he said. "Spanish, French, Urdu, Mandarin, whatever our guests need most. One sentence each. Big print. No clutter." He looked at the team. "We do not need to be fluent to be respectful. One right line can carry a lot." The door chimed again. A woman walked in with a small boy who held a toy truck. She spoke softly and showed Tina an AP pen case in her bag. "Sesame allergy," she said. Tina's answer was ready. "We can cook with a new pen and new tools," she said, pointing to the sign, then to the kitchen where Cam held up the clean skillet like a promise. The woman's eyes wet with relief in an instant that told a whole story of past lunches that had not gone this smoothly. "Thank you," she whispered. Maya knelt to the boy's level and showed him the blue tape on the wooden spoon. "This spoon is special," she said. "We use it for safe cooking." The boy nodded with the serious face little kids use when they see grown ups doing careful work. He parked his truck by the salt shaker and watched the kitchen like a small inspector with a kind heart. The safe plate arrived. The boy ate and smiled. His mother did not look at the clock once. She looked at her son's face and at the blue taped spoon when it passed by again, and her shoulders settled. When she left, she told Luis, "I wish more places had a sign like that." Luis said, "We'll share a photo if you want to show another diner." She took it on her phone and thanked them again. By 5, the team's new habit felt older than the hours it had lived. This is how good habits feel when they fit, like you always knew them, even if you learned them that day. Everyone cleaned a little deeper, not from fear, but from pride. The omelette pan had a new home. The safe spoon had a label on the bin. The sign by the printer did not sag or tilt, it stood straight and clear. Maya changed out of her apron at the end of her shift. She slid the folded copy of the note "Communication is a Bridge" into the pocket of her notebook. She would look at it again during her evening class if the lecture got heavy. It would remind her why details matter. Not for grades. For people. As she walked past the host's stand, Luis stopped her. His voice was low, not because he was hiding, but because he wanted the words to land softly and well. "Thank you for speaking up," he said. "The day turned because you spoke." Maya shook her head a little. "We all did it," she said. "I only said it out loud first." Luis smiled. "Sometimes that's the whole job." Outside, the sky began to change color. The heat softened. Maya stepped into the evening air with the slow satisfaction that comes when a hard thing has become a simple thing. She thought about the way Aiko had nodded, the way the boy had watched the spoon, the way Tina had said "no sesame" like a promise, the way Evan had found the right sentence and made it his own. Inside, the diner glowed in the window like a small stage after the play ends, quiet, set pieces resting, story safe. The room would see many people tomorrow: students, workers, families, travelers, and the habits would greet them all. The script was not fancy. It was only 3 steps and 1 small sentence. But it was enough to turn worry into trust. Maya took the bus to her class with the calm that comes from a day that made sense. She sat by the window and watched the city slide by: a bookstore, a flower stand, a woman teaching a child to cross the street with careful feet. She knew the world could be loud and fast. She also knew it could be clear and kind when someone spoke the right words at the right time. Back at the diner, Luis turned the open sign to closed for a short break before dinner service. He looked at the note on the board one more time. "Communication is a bridge," it read. He smiled. In his mind, he added a few quiet words under it, not in ink, just in feeling, "and we will build it, one sentence at a time." A full week passed, and the diner felt different in a good way. The new signs were up. Small allergy icons sat on the menu like friendly guideposts. The note above the printer read in big letters: "Allergy equals oil, sauce, tools." The omelette pan stood on the high shelf with a little label that said "Allergy only." The wooden spoon with blue tape lived in a clean bin by itself. It all looked simple. That was the point. Simple things were easier to do every hour of a busy day. Maya noticed the change first in the way people breathed. A guest would show an allergy card or say a food rule, and their shoulders would lower as soon as someone pointed at the new sign and said, "We can do this safely." It felt like opening a window. Tina used the script without fear now. Evan said his line to 3 tables in one day and gave the same steady smile each time: "Safe dish coming. Thank you for waiting." Cam kept the safe pan clean like it was a tool from a craft he loved, which it was. Luis stopped tapping his pen so much. He still counted chairs and minutes, but he also counted moments where care was clear and fast. Near the end of that week, a small email arrived in the diner's inbox. It was from an assistant whose name was neat and short. The message said, "Miss Tanaka would like to stop by on Friday 3 p.m., for a quick tea. No need for special seating." Luis printed the email and showed it to the team. Nobody made a big fuss. They cleaned the windows and restocked the sugar packets like any other day. That was their way of getting ready for important guests, do the regular things well. Friday came. The room was steady, not full. Afternoon sun made the tables look warm. Aiko walked in without noise, as if she had stepped through a page in a quiet book. She wore a navy blouse and carried the same neat bag. She lifted a hand to Maya in a friendly hello. Maya felt a small, honest joy, like seeing a friend at the bus stop. She guided Aiko to the same window table, set down water, and brought green tea without being asked. "Welcome back," she said. "Good to see you." "Good to see you," Aiko said, and then added, "Good to see the sign." She pointed to the note by the printer. They smiled together in the way people smile when they share a joke made of shared work. From her bag, Aiko took a slim folder and a small envelope. She placed them on the table with care. I came with two things, she said, choosing her English with the same care she used for her meals. One is a thank you. One is an idea. Maya pulled a chair half an inch closer, not to crowd the moment, just to be present. We're listening, she said. Luis, standing near the host stand, drifted closer in that way managers do when they want to be part of a talk without breaking its shape. Cam stayed at the line but watched with one ear. Tina stood by the drink station with a fresh pot of tea and tried not to grin. Aiko tapped the envelope first. Thank you, she said. Inside were gift cards for the team from a local bookstore and a note in the same clean handwriting as before, for study, for rest, for anything that builds the bridge. Luis blinked faster than usual. He had a long love for bookstores he did not talk about much. He slid the envelope to the pass so he would not say something too full while the room still needed him. Then Aiko opened the folder. On one side was a short outline. Its title was plain, small words, big care. The pages held a simple plan for a 2-hour workshop: how to ask the 3 questions, how to label tools, how to write a one-line promise in different languages, how to role-play a quick fix when a dish is wrong, how to say sorry and mean it without making a scene. On the other side of the folder was a card with a phone number and a line: Hospitality Pilot, City Hotel Group. Would you be willing, Aiko said, looking at Maya and then at Luis, to help teach this workshop here next week for your staff and a few neighbors? I can send a trainer from our hotel team to join. After that, Maya, would you help our hotel group test a simple version for our front desks? It would be part-time. It must fit your school. You know, 1 or 2 afternoons a week, and maybe a Saturday. We will pay a fair rate. We will arrange the schedule with your class times first. Maya felt her heart lift and then calm. She liked offers that came with respect for time and study. She did not want a big leap that would knock her off her path. She wanted steps that would fit like good shoes. I would like that, she said. But only if the diner can spare me when I'm away. Luis laughed softly, relieved. We can spare you, he said. We can also brag about you. The laugh turned into a smile that made lines at the corners of his eyes. He looked at Aiko. Thank you for thinking of her and of us. We build together, Aiko said. The diner taught me a sentence I will carry into many rooms. She took a sip of tea and breathed the steam as if it were a kind word. I would like to carry your way to other doors. They chose a day for the workshop: next Tuesday 3 p.m., after lunch rush, before dinner. Maya wrote the plan on a notepad straight away. We'll keep it simple, she said. We'll use our tools. We will not make it a show. Aiko nodded. That is why it will work, she said. Tuesday came fast. The chairs turned into a circle. The closed for workshop sign hung at the door with a friendly line under it: back at 5. Staff from 2 nearby cafes and 1 bakery joined. A trainer from the hotel group arrived with a small bag of laminated cards and a warm smile. Maya led the room. She did not stand on a box or use a microphone. She stood by the pass with the blue-taped spoon, the omelette pan, and the sign behind her like 3 quiet helpers. She started with a story, but not the part about the TV or the business card. She told the small story that mattered to the craft: a sauce with a dash of sesame oil, a plate that almost went to the wrong table, and the way the room changed when someone said, "Allergy order, coming through," and meant it. People nodded. Everyone in the circle had lived a near miss like that. The circle took a breath together, the kind that says, "We have all been there." Maya showed the 3 questions and had people practice them in pairs. Ask slow, she said. Not loud, just clear. Let the guests see your pen or your pad when you write the answers. People feel better when they see their words land somewhere. They practice saying, "Let me double check," with the right tone, steady, not scared. They tried the tiny Japanese line for new pen, new tools, then swapped to French, then to Spanish. No one was perfect. Everyone was kind. That was enough. Cam led a 5-minute kitchen drill: how to mark a safe spoon, how to choose a pen, how to swap gloves without touching anything in between. He showed the wrong way once on purpose, the fast hands that reach over 3 things, and then the right way with pauses. People laughed at the wrong way and clapped for the right way. It felt like a class, but also like a team sport. Tina and Evan did a role play. Tina played the guest with an allergy. Evan played the new runner. He said his line with his now famous calm, and the room gave a soft cheer because small lines can earn big respect when they are real. The hotel trainer added one smart trick: a green paper clip on allergy tickets so cooks can spot them from across the pass. Luis liked that. He found a box of green clips in the office and put them in a cup by the printer. As the workshop ended, Aiko stood and thanked the room in simple words. "You do important work," she said. "You feed people. You keep them safe. You make cities kinder, one table at a time." She bowed a little, not deeply, just enough to show she meant every word. The room stayed quiet for a second after she sat, the way a room does when a sentence lands in the right place. From that week on, small proofs began to appear. A family came in with a child who could not eat dairy. The mother looked ready to explain a long list, but Tina said, "We can make a clean pen and new tools," and pointed to the sign. The mother smiled like she had found a soft chair after standing a long time. A pair of tourists wrote a note on the receipt: "Thank you for asking before cooking. We will tell our friends." A review on the diner's page mentioned the green clips and the blue taped spoon by name, as if they were famous in their own small way. The hotel pilot took shape too. Maya visited the front desk of a nearby hotel on a quiet afternoon and stood behind the counter with a lanyard and a name tag that said "Guest Care Trainer." She did not try to change everything. She taught the staff a short welcome line that included a question about food needs. She helped them put a tiny icon on the check-in screen that would pop up with a gentle note if a guest had told them about a food rule. She made a one-page sheet titled "If You're Not Sure," with 4 steps: ask, check, confirm, follow up. It was clear enough to be used on a busy night with a lobby full of suitcases. Her schoolwork did not suffer. The schedule fit. She took the bus to class with her notebook full of diner sketches and hotel notes. On nights when the lecture was heavy, she opened the folded paper that said "Communication is a bridge," read it once, and felt her mind line up again. She started to write her own list in the back of the notebook: small habits that keep people safe. The list grew: ask the 3 questions, show the plan on paper, point with one finger when giving directions, use a cup for green clips, keep the safe spoon in a labeled bin, learn one kind sentence in the language you hear most this month. The list felt like a tool belt she could carry anywhere. Aiko came by now and then, always off-peak, always with simple tea. She was busy: many flights, many rooms, many meetings, but the diner stayed in her week like a steady note in a song. She did not come to be seen. She came to see. She watched the way the team moved and how the sign beside the printer had no dust. She noticed a new safe spoon with a small metal tag that said "Bridge." Luis had ordered it after the wooden one got a nick. The tag made him smile. Words mattered to him. He liked seeing one tied to a tool. One afternoon, the little boy with the toy truck returned with his mother. He walked straight to the counter and asked Evan, very serious, "Is the special spoon still safe?" Evan showed him the new spoon with the little tag and said, "Even safer." The boy nodded, satisfied. He ate his lunch and left a drawing of the spoon on a napkin. Luis put it next to Aiko's note and the green clip cup like it was a trophy. The diner did not turn into a quiet temple. It stayed a diner. There were still mix-ups and rush hours and days when the printer seemed to never stop. But the sharp edges were softer. When a mistake happened, the fix felt near at hand, not far away. People said sorry in a tone that held action, not drama. Guests saw the plan and trusted it. Staff held each other up with small reminders that did not sting. On a mild evening near the end of the month, the whole team stood on the sidewalk for 5 minutes before dinner service. They watched the sky change color the way people do when they share a good tired. A bus rolled by. Someone on a bike rang a bell. A car door clicked. Nothing grand. Everything fine. Maya looked at the faces beside her and felt the right kind of pride, quiet, shared, earned. She thought of the moment when she first heard the flat voice of the translation app say dangerous in the busy room and how her body had moved without thinking. She thought of the day she spoke one sentence in a language that was not hers and how the room had softened at once. She thought of the many little hands that now held the plan, a manager, a cook, 2 servers, a runner, and even a child with a toy truck. Her phone buzzed. It was a short message from the hotel trainer, "Pilot is working. Guests notice. Can you help us add 1 line for late night room service?" Maya typed back, "Yes. 3 questions, 1 promise. I'll draft it tonight after class." She put her phone away and breathed in the warm air. She felt ready. Inside, the bell over the door made its soft sound. The open sign glowed again. The team stepped back in. The room welcomed the next wave of people who would bring their own needs and stories. The tools were in place. The words were on the wall and in their mouths. Aiko's sentence sat above the printer, "Communication is a bridge." Luis had added a small line under it, the kind of line that makes a good sign into a way to live, "We cross it together." Maya tied her apron, tucked her pen into the usual spot, and took the first order of the evening. She listened, she wrote, she asked the 3 questions, and she showed the plan. It did not look like hero work. It looked like good work. It felt like a promise kept across a table, 1 meal, 1 person, 1 simple sentence at a time.